What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. Unfortunately, today Josh is not with us. Josh is my co-host, Connor. As I'm sure you've probably seen a clip of his float around our Instagram, but unfortunately, he got tied up with work, unable to make it. But I'm pumped. I'm
Yeah,
happy. I'm
no
here.
problem.
I'm joined today with Connor, the controller Matthews, fresh off his Dana White Contender Series display. How we feeling today, Connor?
I feel good, man. All the bumps and bruises really kind of healed up. Got some stitches; those are all done, healed up. So I feel good. Now it's just eyes on the future and see where we're gonna go from there. So
Sweet.
it's
We're
good
like
stuff.
we're like 3 weeks removed from the fight. Have you watched it since?
Oh yeah, I watched it. I watched it quite a few. It's nice being able to watch your fight on ESPN. Like go on your TV, go on
Right.
ESPN Plus, and go watch and watch your own fight because it's like way higher quality than
Mm.
any fight. But yeah, I watched it. I watched it quite a few times. Obviously, the kid was good. Kid was really good. I saw some stuff I want to work on for sure. Some mistakes. But we're gonna grow from these. I mean,
Amen.
the kid was a stud.
Yeah, he
Um,
was really good.
but is but it was like he had fast, like usually I'm pretty a lot faster than guys, and that's I don't know what that was, but usually I'm a lot, especially in sparring and stuff. Sparring and MMA and fights are a lot different, so
Right.
usually I'm a lot quicker. But he kept on tagging me with his boxing. I should have changed up my game plan. I think maybe a little bit, did a little bit more like, offensive grappling, but we
Mm.
were worried about him because he's a really good wrestler.
Right.
So he tries to keep it standing up, but he was beating me on the feet too. So a couple other things I wanted to diversify my weapons. I should have used a little bit more kicks. I usually do in sparring and throwing head kicks and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And I didn't do it. I kind of just stayed. I try to match him speed for speed with
Mm.
boxing. He was stud. He's good.
Yeah, and he was super young, which was a little bit surprising. But you guys were both studs, man. Undefeated, 5-0, coming into it stylistically. Like the matchup is tough on paper. Like
Yeah.
one guy's a standout wrestler, and the other one's just a tough son of a bitch, man. And it made for a great fight. Definitely the best fight on that card. One thing I wanted to ask
There were some
was,
good fights.
did you
Yeah.
see the media during the week talk about Dana White? It will post the evening of the Dana White Contender Series. It was a lot of talk about Dana White's pre speech or pre fight speech to all the
Yeah.
guys. What can you tell me about
So
that?
yeah, so that was really cool. Never happened before. So, that's my first time like ever like seeing Dana White. So, um, before they bring you into the apex and they don't bring you in the front. They kind of bring you through the back. You go see a doctor and then you go to your warm up room and you're just hanging out. And so, you get like not that much time, but like probably 2 hours before the fight. And then they people for the UFC walk. Hey, Dana wants to talk to everybody. So all fighters in this room. So he walked into this room. They bring us in there. It's just Dana White standing there and a couple of chairs, and he has us all sit down. And then he's just like, he goes, what did he say? He goes like, um, he's like, I'm not doing this because of me. I'm sorry, I'm not doing this because of you guys. I'm doing this for me. He's like, I know you guys all probably saw last week and how horrendous and terrible it was because week one, remember, I don't know if you remember, that was like a
Yeah.
terrible fucking. But we had the best matchmakers in the world, and they go out and they selected all of you guys to come here and fight. He's like, show us why you want to be in the UFC. So he was like this like amp up fucking pump talk. And he's like, I just got amped up. I was just ready to go. Let's fucking go.
It
So I was
worked.
all pumped up. It got me amped up. So yeah, I know, maybe a little bit too amped up, but it was kind of cool because like he never did that before,
Mm.
and they get that like kind of experience where like it's just like kind of like history. And then dude, the fucking card was popped off like from first fight to last fight. Like, everybody was like, I don't know if it's because he did that or just because it's hard to tell, man. Sometimes you think these are the best cards in the world and they're fucking doozies, and,
Right.
vice versa. So it's really hard to tell. But I mean,
Yeah.
that was a cool. It was a cool experience for sure. The fights were. I mean, I had as much as like yeah, it was a fucking whatever a banger. I had a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed fighting on that stage, and like I wish all my fights were like that. So I hope someday they will be because it was just like the fight week experience was very very cool. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Dealing with the UFC, they're very professional. Like everything's all like situated, handled, and you got like it's totally different than anything else I've ever experienced for like fighting. So it was really cool.
Yeah, well, first I want to say, yeah, that card was absolutely stacked that day, and you by far had the best fight on that card. How does that feel when you hear that?
I mean, that feels good. It's hard for me to judge it like that because it's like when I look at my fight, I look at it different than any other fights. Like I don't think it was the best card of the fight on the card because I wasn't performing the way I wanted to
Right.
perform. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
people are saying that, I mean, I'll take it. And he like people are praising the fight, so I'm glad that people think it was a good fight. But I'm not happy with the fight because I'm, like I'm a fighter, I'm a perfectionist. I'm not happy with
Right.
my performance. So it's
Yeah.
like I see what people are saying though. It was an exciting fight to watch if you weren't me.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, man. As a fan, it was great to watch you
That's
on
good.
that big stage. And talk about the fight week a little bit. You said it was different than anything you've ever experienced. I'm sure there's a lot more structure and like media obligations and
What it wasn't really the media obligations. It was very structured. I would say like it was like, all right, you got off the plane, all right, and they have a person waiting for you at the airport with the sign, and then that
Mhm.
brings you right to the hotel you're staying at. Then you get there, you check in with like the UFC. You're doing paper, sign paperwork. They give you a brief on like everything. It's just like everybody that works for them are so professional, and it's like everybody had a job and knew what they were doing. It wasn't just kind of like, what are we doing? I like, not no offense, because it's hard to run a fucking promotion. They have millions and millions of dollars to be able to pay people to do this. Like, I love all the promotions I fought in, but it's just like, man, they have just all these people that they just tell you exactly what to do, what you need to go, and it was just very structured. So that was really cool. They don't have to deal with like fight week around here. Oh, your opponent fell out 3 days out.
You're right.
It's
Well,
like, oh
that's yeah,
shit.
yeah,
For me, it was like nice to have fight. Like I knew the kid I was gonna fight. He was a professional, and he was gonna show up there with his team, and everything was like, he knew that shit was gonna happen. So, yeah, it was good. And then they had the warm up room. So we stayed at a
mhm,
hotel, and so they had like an area where like we go in there. I did a shakeout. I got off the plane. I did a little like shakeout. So it was just cool to have that, and you see other pros popping in and out, and watching them do their thing from different camps like all around the world. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then yeah, the weight cut was they gave us a sauna too. So they gave me like a little portable, not I didn't get to keep it, but they gave it to me. So it's nice, like, they helped to give me sweet sweat. They gave me everything I needed
wow,
for to cut weight.
right,
So that was kind of cool. Usually that's like you're on your own, you know what I mean? And then yeah, it's cool. And then weighed in. So this is the best thing for me, I think. Weigh-ins, all right. It was like literally I go get ready. Like you can weigh, you have to weigh in between 10 and 11, I think the time was. You could do a check your weight at night. You gotta go in the room, you gotta check your weight with the UFC at like 8 o'clock. Make sure you're on the right track or something. Because some people they're not there, they're gonna be like, oh, you
right,
gotta make sure you try to make weight. That's
yeah,
before you even go to the commission. So you check your weight, and then if you're good, you go on, you weigh in at freaking literally, I think it was 11 o'clock, but like when it turned, like I mean, they sat there like, all right, right when it's 11 o'clock, you can step on the scale. Usually, I'm waiting around like local shows. You're waiting around for like the commission and the right guys. Like you're supposed to wait at 11, but it's like fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and like the commission's just showing up and stuff.
yeah,
So it was kind of cool that like this was like you stepped on the scale, you rehydrated, did the pictures, and then all the stuff surrounded, all the media, the betting was kind of cool. I didn't really
yeah,
get to, it's kind of cool to hear people like betting and all that shit on your fights and stuff. So yeah, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. I
yeah.
mean, I love the fight on that stage again for sure.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a glimpse into your future, I think, man. Because if you stay out here, I mean, cancellations are a bitch. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
that's
at
the
one
biggest
point
thing.
last year, you had like four opponents or something like that, and they
I think it
all
was
fell
8.
out.
I literally think it was 8 because the first fight, the kid didn't even show up. Right? He was supposed to. I weighed in, and he didn't even show up. So we went through like 3 or 4 for that fight, and then I rescheduled for another fight, and then for my for CES. With CES, I even had 3 people fall out on me. So they finally got me a last second replacement. So like, man, I was like 7 people falling out. It's like I'm ready, and I swear to God, I'm like when right now, I'm like I'll fight anybody, and then like, but they, guys just last second will fucking fall out on you. It's ridiculous. So then you get a replacement that you have to fight, and it's a guy with not that good of a record, JLS, or like
Yeah,
what I mean, guys with terrible records. And it's just like, well, you know what? I had a whole ton of family and everybody buy tickets, and I need to get some wins in my record. So you're gonna take the fight. What are you gonna
right,
do? Then not fight and not get paid and not do put everything you spent on camp to get you there.
right.
So you have to take the fights. So yeah, I mean it sucks, but like it is what it is. I know I put all the work in. That build up my experience in the gym. I spar with like really good guys, and fighting in the gym all the time against the best of the best. So I know I can compete. I know I can. I can bang. Everybody wanted to say that's another thing. Everybody's like, can you take a punch? Because he's only fought, like whatever. It's like, dude, I knew I could take a punch before that fight. I
Right.
didn't need to have to go through a blood war on TV to show everybody that I could take a punch. But I guess it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Now,
it's all. Yeah, I mean, well, you're coming off 5 first round finishes, and have you ever
yeah,
been hit in like before
yeah,
Dana
oh
White?
yeah, oh yeah. I used to box when I was a
Okay,
kid, and like Golden Gloves boxing, and I did Muay Thai fights that went the distance. I got knocked out in two MMA fights. So
was this
yeah,
amateur or was this
yeah, in my
all
amateur.
amateur? Okay,
Yeah, so I mean, I like then those call them amateur, they're still fights. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I've been in a lot of. I mean, the only thing with the biggest this fight was the stage is bigger. That's it. It wasn't really you know what I mean? It was still a fight. So
Right. Yeah, just a lot more lights and people
like
watching and you're on ESPN first time.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot easier for everybody to find your fights now that it's on ESPN instead of like a Cage Titans YouTube channel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit more it's way more legitified. And it's like it was nice fighting and like fighting an opponent like a kid I just fought. Like I lost and but it feels better losing to a guy who's a fucking stud
Right.
than losing to a guy that like because you got caught. You know what I mean? I hate
Yeah.
that's another reason why I don't like taking these other fights you fight. These guys are not that good. It's like, what if they catch you? It happens again, and then all of a sudden now you get a loss against a guy with like a fucking 3-5 record or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Not a good look.
no. So,
Yeah.
but
I'm
I don't
just
think that will happen for now on. I think now that I got in the contender series, like I bet you guys are going to be seeking me out to fight me because they I beat this guy and it was in the contender series. Give me a shot. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Is
now I'll
that
probably
what you
get guys.
is
What's
that what you
that?
kind of want though? Is that
Yeah,
instead of,
absolutely.
having all these guys
I
fall
want those
out?
guys. I want more options. I want guys I can fight. You know what I mean? I want those guys that be like, oh yeah, I think they can beat. And I can beat them, and then now putting me like, I mean, like Dana said it, and he told me. Actually, that's another thing is Dana came in the after my fight. He came in and talked to me before, like in the back room when I was like having the doctor check me out or whatever. And he came in, he's like, dude, that was a hell of a fight. He said like that could have been on any ESPN or any UFC prelim card like
Mm,
out there. So I was like, he's like, you're tough. He's like, you're a tough son of a bitch. So I take that. I mean, if like Dana White said that about me, I think there's a good chance that, if I do the right things, get myself, maybe take another local one or two fights, get some couple more wins underneath my belt, I can get either a short notice fight in the UFC, or I could definitely get, a contender series next year, which I don't want to wait that long, but you know what I mean? That'd be a grind to wait that long. I'd like to get some fights for some money, or you know what I mean? But
yeah.
it is what it is. I'm
100%. Well, that
all in.
was my next question is kind of what's next for you? Are you gonna jump on some Cage Titans cards or CES cards?
Yeah, we'll see where it comes. You know what I mean? Like whatever makes sense at that time. I like cage signs. I love like I grew up in cage signs. You know what I mean? I fought that since
Yeah.
2011, since I was a kid. I'm commentating for them this
Sweet.
weekend. So I really like fighting for them, and I like fighting there because like you're fighting at home for me. It's Plymouth Memorial is like less than 30 minutes away from my house, so it's like I can get all my friends, sell all the tickets. You know what I mean? And it's just fun. But CES is on UFC Fight Pass, which I like that. It's kind of gets a little bit more out there. People see it a little bit more. Um, but I like them too. They've been awesome to me as well. So it doesn't really matter to me. I'll see what comes at at the right time, and we'll line it up. Maybe I'll fight both of them. One for CES, one for Cage Titans, and then see what happens. Anything if the UFC comes along, like be jumping up, raising my hand.
Yeah. Well, they got to keep your name
I'll
close,
start
man.
calling people out. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you who would you call out if you got the shot?
If I got the shot, I don't really have any personal like issues with any. I don't watch enough UFC to really have personal issues with that either. Or like, I watch UFC, but I don't watch their like their personal lives besides watching the
Right.
fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just the
I
sport.
don't. I just watch the sport, so it's like I don't know like the personalities of like really. Besides, like you watch Sean, everybody knows Sean O'Malley and like
Yeah.
Bryce
Of
Mitchell.
course.
I'd fight
Yeah.
Bryce
Yeah.
Mitchell. I like to
Ooh,
fight him.
yeah.
But That's
That'd
it.
be a
I don't know.
fun fight, man. That's a fun
That'd be a
fight
fun
right
fight.
there.
That'd be a banger. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes me excited for
I
your
know.
future, man.
I appreciate that. I mean, staying grind. So got some work to do. It was like a little half step back, but keep on trucking forward and we're gonna get there.
Amen.
Take the long road this time. It's all right.
Yes, sir. And lastly, on your last performance, I'm pretty sure Dana White in the post like in the media, he literally hyped up your fight, you and the Marshall one, talking about
Yeah,
both you guys, and he like specifically mentioned you. So that got to be like a super cool cap.
absolutely. I mean, I really, that's why I'm a big Dana White fan now. After that experience, like I just it was, I am I really do. I think it was pretty cool that he's been pumping up my fight, and you know that's what he wants to see. The thing is, man, like knockouts and everything's are great, but people like to see fights the way that I just had right there. So that's gonna bring people to the show. People are gonna want to watch fights like that on a main event card instead of just watching quick knockouts all the time
Right.
or whatever. So yeah, I think I hopefully one way or another I get in there and I'll fight on this big show. So
Amen. Well, that's one MA boy to another one in Dana White. Get him back up there, big boss man.
yeah.
I heard you say in one interview, and I was super interested to kind of hear a little bit more. Uh, kind of quoted. I wrote it down from your. I forgot. I think it was one with Barstool Sports or something like that.
Oh yeah, yep.
You said every time I get lost, I go back to martial arts.
Yes,
Can you expand a
absolutely.
little bit on that? What do you mean by lost?
So I mean this is since I was a kid, like in high school, actually even before that, when I was like a middle schooler, right, or middle school, elementary school, if my brother was bullying me or something like that, I was to get all pissed off. Like I remember I would just go to like my karate march him, and I remember just kicking the bag, hitting the bag, and that's how like my I deal with my anger, and I did that all the way through in high school. If a girl like broke up with me or something like that, and I was like down, I would like go into martial arts, start training. Just anytime that I ever had anything like troubles or something in my life, I've always gone back. Most recently, like, in the military, like I was came back to Afghanistan. I was acting weird, whatever. I wasn't my same self, and I went back to martial arts and I started turning that in and turned into like what this career is right now. Like I didn't expect this. I didn't expect to be fighting at this level this late in my life. You know what I mean? And so like yeah, anytime I've ever had any life troubles or issues, like I used to use martial arts to help me out, and it makes everything else better and smoother for my life for sure.
Mm. And do you think it's just a good outlet, like to unleash, kind of some hurt that you're going through in a specific moment? It was that kind of the
It's
context.
it's not like the I'm like I have used the anger hit the bag, but it's not like the anger part of it. It's just like everything else that surrounds it. Like when I go on the mats and I'm doing jujitsu and I'm sparring, I'm just in the moment. I'm focused on everything that I need to do right there, and nothing else really matters. I think it's just a break of from reality is the biggest thing for me. Is just like being in the moment, being at the gym. Nothing else really worries. Nothing really matters.
Mm.
I think that's the most therapeutic part of it, and just getting good exercise. You don't get it's fun. I hate running to be honest, but when I go and I can do like five fives and not even think about the time because I'm just having so much fun. Sometimes five fives sucks and you're going against really good people because they get that. But you know what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes five fives you're just having fun training. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, I love to hear that, man. I always tell people I used to box when I was a youngin, and I always still to this day like I got a box bag in the house, and I love to hit it just because that same reason. Like you feel better afterwards. It's tough to put into
1,000%.
words.
That I mean, for the pandemic, like that was one of the best things I did. Is I was lucky enough. I was staying at a farm that had a big giant area, and like everything, all the gyms are closed. Everybody's getting like it's like couldn't work and do anything. But like we just had all my friends. We just roll at the farm the whole time. I think it was like the best thing to get everybody's mind off everything else. It's just free training. So
It's just
yeah, good
jujitsu.
shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I love to hear that. So you train at Lozon MMA. Uh,
yeah.
also, I see Controller Proving Grounds. Is this like a personal project?
Yeah, so well, I'd say I have a gym. It's a Seaside CrossFit is a big giant CrossFit gym around here, and then I'm subleasing from them. So it's like
Mm.
right next to their thing. Yeah, so I got my own mats. I got running kids classes. I run adult classes. I do jujitsu and kickboxing. So yeah, it's been going good. I've been open for like 4 or 5 months now, I think. I think it is. And then right now we're gonna see what's going on. The people I'm renting from are moving, so I'm thinking I'm gonna split off and do my own thing. So, but I'm still looking for spots right now because it's kind of hard with everything, how much everything costs right now.
Right.
We're trying
Yeah.
to find some new spots, but yeah, it's been going good so far.
Yeah. Massachusetts is crazy in terms of pricing. So good
Oh
luck,
yeah,
bro. Good luck.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
but do you enjoy doing like the personal training? Do you enjoy like training the younger,
uh,
the people who aren't like MMA
yeah.
fighters?
Oh yeah, I like kids the
Hmm.
most. I think really enjoy teaching kids. Um, their classes are fun because kids that want to be there are the
Right.
best. But adults too. Yeah, I mean, if I find anybody, I really care about training. Like, if I'm training somebody that like really wants to be there, I can. It's fun for me. If I'm training with somebody who's just kind of really into it and they're just kind of do it to do it, I don't really like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not worth my time. But like somebody who likes, tries, and wants to be better, I love training people. It's it's martial
Yeah.
arts and teaching is a good way for me to explore new things as well. You know what I mean? Like just go back to the basics and teach the basics right and correct. It's like me double repping or whatever, quadruple repping. And then there's like, just working on new things as well. So it's good,
That's sweet. And
especially like fighters and stuff.
how do people sign up? If anybody's listening and they're like,
Oh yeah.
ah, that
So if
sounds
you go
cool.
to the controller without the controller MMA.com, I believe is .com. Yeah, controllermma.com. That my website has a link for my gym within the website. Then on my website I also have t-shirts, um, pictures, stuff, whatever, all that stuff talks about me. So everybody wants to get on there, check it out.
Hell
Appreciate it.
yeah, man. Full brand. I'm definitely gonna link it below. Absolutely. Just find the link. It's somewhere down there. A few more things, Connor. You train at Lozon's, and there's just one video. I want to see if you've ever seen it. It's with Mr. Joe Lozon himself. It was when he
Yeah,
was much younger with his little brother or brother Dan, and it
yeah,
was like at a family barbecue.
yeah,
And these two madmen are fighting like
yeah,
no other, just balls against the wall, and it's like finish, get up, run it back, finish, get up, run it back, and it's just constant. And I fucking love that video. I put like 20 people onto it. um
yeah.
you,
They're
you know what
wild.
you've seen that video.
Oh yeah, I've seen that video. I mean, apparently, like so I obviously have channel those on my whole life, and I like according to other people at the gym, they said that would be like a regular like occurrence thing of them just fighting at family things. I know Danny. I used to spar with Danny when I was before I joined the military. Actually, Danny wasn't allowed to spar at Lowe's. He was kicked out of the gym because they're brothers and they just fight and shit.
Right.
But he would spar at a gym with me, and that kid had hands. His stand up and his boxing was so. He was the youngest kid in the UFC for a little while, and he could freaking bang. Kids so tough. So yeah, I used to train with them back in the day, like way back. And yeah, I could see him like him and Joe just button heads and fighting all the time. Makes sense. I
It's great, man. And I also, you mentioned your brother. Is it older or younger?
have an older brother.
Yeah, so
So
I got a
yeah,
younger brother myself, and me and him have fought, but never to that extent in front of the whole family, knee pads and just
I
submission
I've
hunting.
I've my brother's older, but I've unfortunately beat him up a couple times by accident.
And I actually heard you tell
But
the story that you put him in a hospital or something like that. It,
yeah,
during one of the a fun night
yeah.
out.
Oh, you heard about that?
I think I've heard you talk about it in an interview. I wrote it down to mention
Oh
it to
my
see if I
god,
get a
yeah.
cool
So,
story.
oh yeah, that was bad. That was bad news. There was obviously beer involved, and that was stupid. So I don't drink after my fights anymore. I stopped doing that
Mhm.
because I've had a couple bad experiences of drinking and then hanging out, partying with your, fighting and then drinking, hanging out with your friends after, and like you do stupid stuff. I think it's the adrenaline or something. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but yeah. No, I love my brother. Me and him get along great. So I feel that's one of the worst I've ever felt is after that.
Uh,
After he came out of the hospital, I felt so bad.
yeah.
But he forgive me. We get along good.
That's good,
Try
man.
not to do that. Try not
Yeah.
to do that ever.
Leave it in the past. And you even
Oh yeah, absolutely.
broke a best friend's arm. Is that true?
Oh yeah, that's true too. We're still friends too. Hung
That's
out with
good.
them all the
That's great,
time.
man. Were you trying to like
He
pull an
started
arm
that one.
bar?
He started that one though. So I can't. He's not. He doesn't. He can't even get mad at me. He started that one. It was just. It was just. It was a fight.
He
You know
was
what I mean?
asking for it,
I knew
right?
jujitsu. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he was asking for it. Last thing, bro, is I kind of noticed you're a bit of a foodie, huh?
I eat. Yeah, I'm fat. Yeah. If when I can, no, I do. I do it when I can. But it's like when I'm strict, I'm strict. When I need to get my shit together, I need to get myself for fighting. I'm very good about dieting. But like if they're telling me I can't fight for 6 months, I'm like I'm gonna take a couple months and eat what the hell I want. You know what I mean? And then I work
Yeah.
my way back into it. So yeah, I love food, man. I think that's part of fighting, man. You restrict yourself so much in different points, so like you get like a deeper appreciation. Maybe it's just me, but I started watching like Food Network all the
Mm.
time and all this stuff, and it's like I just love food.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? Food is great. So you've just finished your fight. What is like the first meal? Like I can now cheat and eat whatever I want. I gotta go get this.
Um, my favorite thing is the steak and cheese,
Mhm.
Philly steak and cheese. That's like my favorite. Like mushroom onion. I made one today. It was delicious. And then I I like sushi a lot. A
Okay.
ton of sushi. So I'll go and I'll eat like mad. I've got a really, really good sushi spot next to where I live called Turks. Turk sushi is like bomb. Everybody comes all from all around and they go to it. It's like I'm less than a mile away from my house. So I'll hit that. It's just expensive.
Yeah,
And then
sushi adds up.
there goes my paycheck, my fight money right there. Um yeah, but I mean I love everything. Mexican food. I
Mm,
love Mexican food. Chips, Mexican they got the just
yeah,
tortillas,
the
burritos.
salsa. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't go wrong,
Asian
man.
food. I'm a big Asian food guy too. So like Vietnamese food, like pho, Thai food, Korean barbecue. Like I like all those kinds of Asian foods. Big fan.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you basically mentioned every food known to man, which I don't blame you for, man. They're all delicious. You even posted like a steak and cheese spot in Faneuil Hall in Boston on your
Yeah.
story, and I saved it. I was like, I got to try this out. That looks fucking
It was
phenomenal.
pretty good. It was pretty good. That was a good spot. Yeah.
Good to know, man. I gotta check it out. But Connor, man, I really appreciate the time today, bro. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah. So I'm obviously I got the controller MMA Instagram. So I'm on there. I use that the most probably if you want to message me. I also got Facebook, Connor Matthews. Not probably not use that so much. And that's really it right now. I got my website, controllermma.com. I showed you that about that earlier. I got a TikTok. Don't really use it. So if you guys want to reach out to me on Instagram or whatever, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first, man. Connor's the guy. Connor, I appreciate the time today, man. I'll see you on Saturday. I'm out there at Cage Titans this Saturday,
Hell
so
yeah.
let's link up, man. You gonna be at the after party or whatever Cage Titans is
Yeah, I'll
promoting?
be. Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be there. The fight's gonna go super late, so I mean, there's 1,000 fights on that card. So, there's like he asked me to commentate, and then he sent me the lineup. I'm like, dude, there's so many fights. I gotta like do a whole bunch of research and figure
Yeah.
out
When you say
who's
so many
who and
fights,
what.
what do you like 15? Are we talking 10?
19,
Oh,
19.
geez. Yeah, long night.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a long night. Well, Mike has his plate
Yeah,
full on Saturday.
yeah.
Have a good day, bro. I really appreciate the
You
time
too, man.
again.
Thanks
Let's
for
talk
having me
soon.
on.